Picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
He's kinda big and he looks real fat. With his life preserver and sailing hat.
Well, hello and welcome back. It's me again. It's going to be a short video this week. I can already tell because it's Wednesday and I'm just starting. I will tell you that I'm in a bit of a doldrums. This is a 1 week. 1 week from today, I'm hitting the road for WonderFest, and you know, mixed with that, you know, anticipation and stress and all of that. I'm at the end of my fuse, or at the end of my productive year for this year, because this is the time I was like, it's summer, I should be outside. I don't really feel like building anything. It's the week before I get re-energized. Think of this as the chain going up the top of the roller coaster, and you're going up and up and up and towards the top. I'm at the bottom of that chain right now because WonderFest itself is the roller coaster. You hit the top of the hill and that sends you on. You're rejuvenated and you're renewed and you're reinvigorated and all of that for the next year. But you're coming up to it, coming up to that chain. I'm not really feeling what it is I want to be building this week. So I let the fates pick it, and the fates, if you ever let the fates pick something, boy, you better be ready for the result. I was going into the stash, looking into the stash, and I was thinking, okay, well, I'm seeing the same kits in the front of the stash. I'm seeing the same things I've seen there forever. And frankly, I've just got done doing ships and figures and robots and you know, the spaceships and all that. And what can I do? I'm kind of blah. What do I do? I said, okay, well, again, we'll let the fates do it. So I said, okay, here's the stash. Here's the middle shelf of the stash. What model is in the back corner of that stash? Whatever is in the furthest corner from me, unless I have, you know, unless it's a copy of them, because I have multiple copies of models, unless it's a copy of something I have just done, let's pick something that's out of the furthest corner of the stash, and we're going to build that this week. And it's, you know, I was looking for something simple, something that I can take my mind off of other things with, and this is what I've come up with. This was in the back corner of the stash. This is the Leaky boat Louie. Now, I don't ever remember actively buying this kit. I'm sure it was given to me as a gift. It either could have been a white elephant Christmas present or something like that. And undoubtedly, because of the name, somebody said, give the Louie boat to, give this to Lou. I will look at the front of it and it says, he's wet and slimy. He's a disaster afloat. There ought to be a law against Louie and his boat. That's what it's, you know, it's poetry right there, folks. This is a Weird-ohs kit. They are simple as all get out. I've built a couple of these before, but you know, ironically, this is at the same time, this is a great refreshing change because it's not a robot, it's not a guy, you know, a person, it's not a starship, but at the same time, it also kind of fits in aquatically with the Jaws build, which is the other thing I'm doing right now that I am not putting on camera right now because of the nature of the Sprueverse challenge. That is going to be filmed separately. It will be edited together separately. It will be unveiled on the 4th of July. So part of my attention is going to that, but the rest of my attention is going to be into this gray bit of sprue here. Looks like it could be fun. I could, you know, Lord knows I could use a nice little quickie fun build. So this week and into next, I don't know if we're going to finish this before I leave or not, but you know, what the heck. It is the Testors Weird-ohs Leaky boat Louie. Let's go meet the parts. And here you go. Here are the parts. Louie himself, it comes in two big halves. Here's the right half and the left half. And it looks like there's an insert for the mouth maybe. If not, there's at least the tongue. I don't think there is an insert for his mouth. Looking at it now, I see the tongue right here. We got left arm, right arm. Here is the said boat. Evinrude motor. Anchor, a little bit of, looks like a little bit of water for a base. So, like I said, I don't expect this to take too much time or energy, but I think I could have some fun with it. Let's start with the instructions. Leaky bow Louie. Now there are no decals with this kit. I don't know if there ever were, and they have disappeared over the years because there was no shrink wrap on this. It looks like there might have supposed to have been decals, but Dick Culpa has got the illustration credit. Nope. Just a shell for tester's paint and tester's glue. Oh, he's got fangs. Okay, he's got fangs, but no mouth, so to speak. So, and no decals. So maybe we can make up our own, and that would be fun. I think there's a name should be put on the side of this boat, and perhaps a logo for the engine. We may be able to have some fun with it. But let's get cracking on putting some of this bits together. Okay, it's a testament to model production at the time this was made, and it's got a 1963 copyright notice on the inside of the boat, although the box says 1993. I'm presuming that was when it was repopped. But a 1963 model, much like the old Chitty Chitty Bang Bang that I keep going back to, or the Amtronic, or other models of that era, the locating pins are next to non-existent, and the pockets they go into even less so. So, and the seams are wildly out of place. So most of the work is going to be in the sanding after the glue has dried to figure out exactly how to get these seams to disappear. You'll see these horrendous seams going down the hand, going down the arms, and of course you got one right down, splitting right down the middle of his face. That's always attractive. I am using the MEK to melt this together as best I can, and then going back in with the sandpaper. Nice thing about this era of plastic, even though this was, like I said, this was probably the 93 repop, is that the plastic will melt really nicely. The styrene melts really nicely with the MEK, and it'll give me a nice seam that I can at least sand. Trying to get a, there you go. Trying to get a nice grip around the hands here. It's not very cooperative here. Of course, he's got a hand with a soda in it. Some of these things don't have any, or some of the parts don't have any locating pins in them at all. They are only suggested by the instructions as far as how they would go. Notably, the teeth in his mouth don't seem to have any sort of corresponding pocket. They only an indication of where they go. Like I said, getting the seam that's running straight through his face and over his hat and down the life jacket is going to be fun. And then the other thing you have is, okay, here's the boat, here's him sitting in the boat, and that's how the model works. There is no nothing in here, no feet, no legs, no nothing to continue the illusion. You've got an arm here that holds the soda, and then you've got another arm here that I guess would hold the steering wheel or come close to it. But yeah, no legs or anything. So we'll have to see if that's something that screams out to me for some sort of sculpting of leg. But then you have a very basic water boat, water base for the boat. Looks a bit like a Van Gogh. And the engine, for some reason, the outboard motor is meant to clip on like that. Now it has no propeller on it, and it only very basically smacks up against the back, something like that. So while it's not exactly the height of model engineering, it is, I'm afraid, it is what it is. I hate that phrase. I always fight against that phrase whenever I hear it used. But frankly, this is exactly what it is. And now we've got two, let's see, these are the exhaust, they call them the exhaust ports, right below the main port. The exhaust ports in the motor. And they go in here, but they've got no indication of how far they should go. What's to keep them from going like that? No stops on them, so it's just going to be a question of eyeballing them. But boy howdy, I'm exhausted from doing all of this. This took me all of maybe 20 minutes to put all these parts together, and now I will let the MEK do its job, and then I'll come back and sand these more aggressively later, and then get ready to put some primer on them. Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, and work such as it is, well, it's the gateway to the weekend. Work such as it is continuing on leaking Louie, leaking boat Louie. Louie looks to be some sort of reptile. I get that from the box. I don't know why he has hairy arms, but he looks to be some sort of reptile. So we're gonna go with a yellow-green look for Louie. Now I'm looking at this build up here on the side, and it looks like we've got all kinds of colors going on it, and it looks like it might be fun to do this in an exaggerated comic strip type of style where you accentuate the black outlines around things. That might be fun. A fun way to treat it. I will tell you that there is next to no guidance provided on the placement of the teeth and or this cigar. You're just supposed to, I guess, lay it up against the edge here and just slather a bunch of tester's glue on it, because there's no pin for it, there's no peg, there's none of that. It's just supposed to go up against the side. Same way with the teeth. Again, no hint of anything to help you out on that. He's also going to be very difficult to paint once I've put these arms on, but I don't see any way around it, because the way it's designed, the arms are, I mean, he's got a life vest on, a life jacket on, but there's no natural seam in the jacket where his arms are going to go, and I need to get paint up in behind there, if you can believe it. And I also need to get paint under where his arms are going to go. So it looks like what we're going to do is paint everything and then attach the arms to it and then putty the resultant joint. So that's going to be fun. The boat is not here. I've put a coat of brown on it. It's hanging in the other room drying. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a coat of blue on the water. Blued on the water. And then I'm going to I'm going to put a base coat of primer on the body here, because there's nothing really else I can do. I'm going to be airbrushing, I guess, a black inside there to cover up the inside of his mouth. We'll see how bad this seam is once I get a coat of primer on it. I think it's going to be pretty bad. Now, like I said, he has a reptile look to him, but he's got round pupils instead of slit pupils, which I have not put on there yet. I will wait and put those on, because I may want to do something where he's looking at another angle and I can position those eyes to accomplish that. I had thought about putting googly eyes on it, but then I thought better. Maybe, googly eyes aren't the answer for everything. But if he were a true reptile, he would have slitty eyes. He would have long, skinny, daggery pupils rather than rounded ones. So, you know what? He's just going to be a monster, and a monster that has snake teeth, snake fangs, but no particular snake body. He's got arms, so obviously he's not a snake. Greetings, everybody. It's Friday. It's the last work day of the week, and this has been a weird week. I don't mind telling you. Continuing work on the Louie and his leaking boat, and it's not going well. It's not going horrible, but it's not going great. I've decided I'm going to hand paint this more than I am going to try to airbrush it, only because masking this around these contours has not been the easiest thing. On the boat, it's been a little bit easier, so I've been using some Tamiyas and spraying them just like you would your regular model. On the Louie himself, I've been using these Army Painter paints. They're a little bit thicker. They don't airbrush well at all. They're not really meant for that. They're meant for miniature painting. So that's what I've been using. They do cover pretty well. And of course, I've got that Demon Orange, which I've always had a problem with. But I want to make it a fluorescent orange life vest. That's why it's that color. Not going to finish this today. I wasn't really hoping to finish it today. I've got today and a couple of days next week before we're packing up to go to WonderFest. So I've been kind of doing other things at the same time, like I will do a little painting on this, and while it's drying, I'll go out and make a list of the stuff I need to pack. Now, I've got bins this year for my entries rather than putting them in cardboard boxes like I normally do. I've been using the same boxes for 20 years now, and it's about time to retire those. So I've got some plastic bins. I need one bin big enough to put the sandcrawler in. Now, that's the problem. I may have to build something for that, make a box for that, because to get something long enough, it also makes it way too wide. So that's my sticking point. So I'm kind of figuring out that and making a list of clothes to pack and stuff like that. Templates I got to get done. And frankly, that's dividing up the time. So while we wait for things to dry, I do other things. And then while other things happening, I can come back and paint some more. So I'm back from lunch now. Everything looks fairly dry. Looks like I can go another round on the painting here, and maybe finally get these arms attached. They're still the last color before I decided to change the color again. Maybe what I'll do is paint these base colors with the figure color paint, and then go in and airbrush some shadows and stuff on them. I'm still kind of whacked out by the face, because he's got teeth and fangs, and you would think he's reptile. He's got no nose, so you think snake, but then he's got round eyes with bloodshot veins in it, so it's going to be a little of everything. Alrighty, I'm back from lunch, and I'm doing another round of painting. Each time I go around the horn, I refine the shapes a little bit better, and I get down to making fine definitions between the colors. These Army Painter paints are they certainly work better over the second coat. The first coat kind of goes down and puts the color in, but it's you don't want to glop it on. You don't want to put it on too heavy, else you end up with brush strokes. But I find that it's generally the second time over, the second coat, that the colors really start to pop, and they really start to solidify and start to become more unified. And that's where we're at right now. I'm going to do some minor, some accent color here. And of course they wash up with water, which is nice. But I do just an accent on his swim trunks to paint that line in. Probably should be using a smaller brush. And I think I will get that as soon as I put this down. But like I say, you start in with a hitting the general area, then you go in and you refine it and go over it the second time. The thing I think I've said this before. What I want to do is to maybe do some shading with the airbrush, but there is a place on this kit that is almost impossible to get to, and that is under his chin. I don't know who designed this kit. That person has probably gone to meet his reward, but that's a very difficult place to get to. Let me see if we can do some dry brushing on this water with this light blue color. Just do some swirls. Maybe not dry brushing in traditional sense, but just hitting the tops of these waves. I can practice under here because that's where the boat's going to sit, and you're never going to see it anyway. So you can kind of try it out there, and if you like it, you carry it out to the visible areas. Okay, so here we are, Friday afternoon, getting ready to close up for today, only because I got so many other things I need to be working on. And the last thing we can do that'll put this out of commission for a while is to put the arms on, and that will help me determine what areas we're not going to see. Plus, it will give me the areas that I still will have to patch again. Like I'm going to have to run some putty around those, and it's going to end up needing some sanding and some puttying anyway. So let's go ahead and get these on. I've got bare plastic on both sides of this pretty much, so let's just get a bunch of the MEK out, slop it on there, and then we will stick these down. It's going to be trouble getting in behind there, but by the time we get it on the boat I can continue to work on because it's completely separate. But by the time we end up doing that, we're not going to see much of what's happening on his belly anyway. So let's do this and see how far we can get. I'm just going to hold these while they dry. I'm kind of confused. I know this is a freak. I know this is a Roth-inspired creature. I know this is a much like a ratfink. This is a wild creature, hepped up drawing, but I can't for the life of me try to figure out why this gap here. These, I mean, from here it looks like the Joker. Why there are teeth here when it could just as easily be webbing like a snake has between his upper jaw and his lower jaw. They've got that membrane that goes there, that muscle. Why was that not made that way instead of making it look like teeth? We've got fangs that jingle, jangle, jingle. No, we've got fangs that are meant to go here, and then two lower fangs that go there. It would be make perfect sense if this was just skin, like the inside of a snake jaw, and not more teeth. So I'm trying to figure out how, if I want to handle it that way, or whether I just want to sand that detail down and paint that like a pink flesh color to look like the membrane between the top and bottom jaw of a snake. Because he certainly looks like a snake from the front. He's got no nose. No nose. All the no-nos, he's got no nose. And if you put the eyeballs in, which are these pieces here, the round eyeballs, they look like that. So it's just a freakish mashup. Of course, we've got what's supposed to be a hairy forearm there, and hairy forearm was my porn name in another life. But you've got this hair here, so it's just a horrible mashup. It offends my rational brain wants to make sense out of this and try to figure out what kind of creature it's supposed to be, but it is a wild combination of a few different types. And that's where we're going to end it for this week. Now, I know this wasn't exactly an in-depth, comprehensive video this week. I'm kind of, going 9 different directions at the same time. Next week isn't going to be any better. I do believe that what I will do is either finish this over the weekend or finish it on Monday or Tuesday. Monday there's no mail. It's Memorial Day, so it's going to be a full tilt boogie day. I'm going to try to get a lot of stuff done. I've got Monday, Tuesday of next week, Wednesday most of the day, and then I take off. I'm heading westward. So what I'd like to do is probably get as much of this done today. I might work a little bit more tonight on it. Get it finished Monday and Tuesday. Maybe get the video up on Wednesday. So that'll be it. And then the next time you see me, I will be recuperating from WonderFest. Again, I'm going to take my phone to take pictures. I've become one of those people who stopped carrying an actual camera and take pictures on my phone. But I'll be doing that next week at the show. I've got stickers to hand out. If you see me there, stop me and I'll pull one off the roll for you. What I'm thinking though is I'm not going to take any video of the entry room or the dealer's room because so many people do that, and unless I see something just gobsmacking that I've got to cover, I might post that somewhere on one of the socials. But I think what I'm going to do is let the people who do the videography much better than I do, let them do it, and I'll just point you in their direction when I get back. But where we're at right now is we've got a boat. We've got a little dinghy. It looks a little dingy. I feel a little dingy at getting this much done. I've got the water. I've got the boat. We'll come back for the little boat. And let's see. We've got the motor to go on the boat. We've got Leaky and Louie to go in the boat. So that's where we are at this point. We'll finish this up next week, and I'll get it up before I take off for the WonderFest, but that'll be it. So until next time, y'all be good, be smart, be safe, finish your models, get your stuff ready, get your entry forms done. They're all online this year. It's going to save you so much time if you're not waiting around to get your forms and try to fill them out, because you're going to have to fill them out on one of the computers they've got there. So do it at home, print them out, bring them with you, make it easier on the rest of us, and we'll see you here next time.